All right, welcome everyone. Today I'm delighted to be able to introduce AJ Wright and Lynz Morahn. Morahn, I guess. Never thought to ask. Let's see, AJ has been singing and playing instruments since what age? An early age, as has Lynz. AJ has been a sailor and shanty singer and shanty foreman at the Mystic Seaport Museum and a bunch of other things. And I will let her kick this off now since we're starting a little bit late. AJ, take it away.
Yeah. Didn't think about how early morning it would feel when I was listing what I was doing for this. So I'm just going to crash us right in with something utterly dismal. It's my favorite kind of thing.
Super.
All right. I didn't re-sound check after moving every single thing from last night, so you'll just have to wave frantically at me if it doesn't sound good. My Willie sails on board a tender, and where he is I do not know. For 7 long years I've been constantly waiting, since he's crossed the Bay of Biscay. One night as Mary lay a-sleeping, a knock came to her bedroom door, crying, "Arise, arise, my dearest Mary, for to earn one glance of your Willie-o." Young Mary rose, put on her clothing, and to her bedroom door did go, and there she spied her own dear William, his 2 pale cheeks as white as snow. "Oh, Willie dear, where are those blushes? Those blushes I knew long years ago. Oh, Mary dear, the cold clay has ashed them. I am only the ghost of your Willie-o." Ooh, I looked at the chat and I totally lost what I was singing. Young Mary dear, the dawn is coming. Don't you think it's time for me to go? I am leaving you quite broken-hearted, for to cross the Bay of Biscay. Oh, if I had all the gold and silver and all the money in Mexico, I would grant it all to the King of Erin, just to bring me back my Willie-o. My Willie sails on board a tender, and where he is I do not know. For 7 long years I've been constantly waiting, since he's crossed the Bay of Biscay.
Oh, that's gorgeous, AJ.
Thank you. Ooh, look, more friends. You know, like, I understand, I really get the being off camera thing these days, but it's trying to get used now to playing to the totally blank screen. So I'm going to make jokes, and I'm just going to assume that they've all landed because I can't actually see that you're reacting. Fun fact, I wrote Bay of Biscay on my list for today, and I wasn't sure which song named Bay of Biscay it was. So maybe I'll do another one later. But, morning, folks. I mentioned in my first set yesterday morning that as I've been recently freed from the constraints of the 1860s and 70s, I'm taking advantage of that. My old job mostly required me to sing stuff in that fairly limited time frame, and I'm getting to sing a lot of other songs that I really like. So this is a modern song recorded by Angels and Daring. I think it might be a Cindy Callett song. I can't remember who of that trio wrote it. But, and actually, the last time I saw Lynz in person, I sang this because we were over by Rocky Beach. Meself and me brother, and sometimes another, to Marblehead Neck by the ocean we'd go, to the great rocks and breakers we'd wear our old sneakers, and watch the cold foamers as white as the snow. Now we needed no reason, nor the warm summer season, to forsake the city all for the North Shore. Indeed, I remember one night in December, when cold winter winds made the ocean to roar. Now, boys, for adventure, we'll do many strange things, not caring for weather nor time of the day. For us 'twas the ocean, and the great sweeping motion, the rocks on the shore, and the cold foaming spray.
Wonderful.
All right. And Jeff, as a quick answer to what you just sent me, yes, I gave the links to the social host, so that will be put in the chat. Watch the chat for really important links, folks. All right. Yeah, I wasn't planning on this, but I think about doing a little something with concertina, break up the monotony of a cappella here. This, is the festival of Jeff Warner, and we all got lots of really great songs from him in the Warner collection, and I think I might do the other Bay of Biscay. It's a 2 Bay of Biscay set. For a little. Whichever way the wind poor town. She is sweeter, far I know, than the winds of the bonny Bay of Biscay. For the girl I love is waiting there, with her eyes of blue and her golden hair. It's eastward high and it's westward ho, and I'll return to the bonny Bay of Biscay. For the girl I love is waiting there, with her eyes of blue and her golden hair. It's eastward high and it's westward ho, and I'll return to the bonny Bay of Biscay.
Oh, that's delightful.
With apologies to Jeff Warner, but such a delightful song. 1 second. Friendly reminder, since there's been a few instances already. Yeah, Copper family-ish thing. Most of the sets that I've done have been round robins, and now I'm having to actually put my brain to work, come up with my own transitions here, which is good practice. I haven't done that a lot since leaving my old job. This is not technically a Broken Token song, but it has all of these sort of hallmarks of a Broken Token song, except for the actual Broken Token. This is personally one of my favorite songs to have people sort of act out to, because it's got some really delightful, unique language in it. 'Twas on one summer's evening, all in the month of May, down by a flowery garden where Betsy she did stray, I overheard this young maid in sorrow to complain, all for her absent lover who plows the raging main. I stepped up to this fair maid and I put her in surprise. I own she did not know me, I being all in disguise. Says I, my charming creature, my joy and heart's delight, how far have you to travel this dark and rainy night? Away, kind sir, to the cloudy banks, if you will please to show pity, a poor girl distracted, it's there I have to go. I am in search of a young man, and Johnny is his name, but I'm told his ship got wrecked all on the coast of Spain. When Betsy heard this dreadful news, she fell into despair, a wringing of her hands and a tearing of her hair. Since Johnny has gone and left me, no man on earth I'll take, but on the banks of Claudy I'll wander for his sake. When Johnny, hearing her say so, he could no longer stand, he fell into her arms, crying, Betsy, I'm the man. I am that faithful young man, and whom you thought was slain, and since we've met on Claudy banks, we'll never part again.
Oh, I've missed your singing, AJ.
I love that one. Betsy, it's me. Yeah, okay, sure, why not? But I have to say, my favorite part of that is my charming creature, my joy and heart's delight. Favorite way of talking to somebody. Yeah. Another song, the Love and the Sailor, with another really good word in it. My lover is a sailor lad, so gallant and bold. He's tall as a flagstaff, only 19 years old. And he sails o'er the wide world to places far and near. And my heart it is a heaving because he's not here. Now his parents they had bonded him for to be a carpenter, but a seafaring life he did very much prefer. His spirit was so tormentuous, so fierce to behold, that this young lad brought a carpenter to the sea did go. Now my heart it is a heaving just like the rolling sea, for fear his affections don't still point towards me. For there's plenty of pretty girls in the world, so I'm told, especially for a young lad only 19 years old. All right, one more song.
Yes.
Well,
possibly two at that length. Yeah, two at that length.
Yeah. Everybody knows this one. There's a bunch of different versions. This is the one that I learned. This is the one that I like. You know, whenever I'm doing that kind of oompa thing, think about Chris Madden's delightful concertina playing. He does that really effectively. Come here, little fisherman, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish of the sea. Yea, ho, little fish, don't cry, don't cry. Yea, ho, little fish, you'll be a whale by and by. You go to fish school and you read from a book how not to get caught on a fisherman's hook. Yea, ho, little fish, don't cry, don't cry. Yea, ho, little fish, you'll be a whale by and by. Little fishy, don't eat of the fisherman's bait, or you will end up on a fisherman's plate. Yea, ho, little fish, don't cry, don't cry. Yea, ho, little fish, you'll be a whale by and by. The crew are asleep and the ocean's at rest, and I'm singing this song to the one I love best. Yea, ho, little fish, don't cry, don't cry. Yea, ho, little fish, you'll be a whale by and by. I am singing this song to the one I love best, and her name it is tattooed all over my chest. Yea, ho, little fish, don't cry, don't cry. Yea, ho, little fish, be a whale by and by. Yea, ho, little fish, don't cry, don't cry. Yea, ho, little fish, you'll be a whale by and by.
Oh, excellent. Now you've got me remembering Danny Spooner.
Ah, I've never heard his version.
Oh, really? Okay,
No.
sometime. But you have one more
I'd
for
love
us?
to. Oh, if you wanted to, I was planning on
Yep.
that being my closer.
Sorry about that. Encore.
Encore. Let's see. Dig up all my old stuff. I I've been singing a lot this year. I've got 1 minute, so here's the 1 minute version of Maui.
No, you have more than that. I was mistaken.
My clock says it's 12:24.
Yeah, take up to 3 minutes.
Oh, all right. What haven't I done yet? I'm gonna play a tune, I think. Gonna play... I don't know what I'll do. I'm not gonna run out and get my bones for this. This is not explicitly a maritime song, but it's exactly the kind of song that you would have heard sung in the 19th century on the decks of ships. So there's a bunch of different varieties of this with different names slotted in. As I walked down one May morning to take a pleasant walk, I sat down beside an old stone wall to hear two lovers talk. To hear two lovers talk, he said, hear what they might say, that I might learn a little more love just before I go away. B, it stands for Patty, I suppose. J is for my man John. W stands for False Willie O, but Johnny is the fairest man. Johnny is the fairest man, he said. Johnny is the fairest man. I don't care what anybody says. Johnny is the fairest man. I'll go climb some high tree, rob a little bird's nest, and then I'll go and speak a little about the girl that I love best. The girl that I love best, she said. Girl that I love best. Then I'll go and speak a little about the girl that I love best. P, it stands for Patty, I suppose. J is for my man John. W stands for False Willie O, but Johnny is the fairest man. Johnny is the fairest man, she said. Johnny is the fairest man. I don't care what anybody says. Johnny is the fairest man. P, it stands for Patty, I suppose. J is for my man John. W stands for False Willie O. Johnny is the fairest man. Johnny is the fairest man, she said. Johnny is the fairest man. I don't care what anybody says. Johnny is the fairest man. Right.
Wonderful, AJ. Thank you for a fabulous set. I might mention that in addition to be a wonderful performer, AJ was Jeff Kaufman's chosen successor to take over the Mystic Sea Music Festival, which of course fell immediate victim to the pandemic. But AJ and Lynz are both heavily involved in the brand new Connecticut Sea Music Festival.
Lynz, as far as I know, is not yet involved in the new Connecticut Sea Music Festival.
Lynz will be heavily involved.
Fair. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you for correcting me.
If you're interested, you can look at the link that's in the chat, which has a full list of the board of directors currently and where we're standing on the organization of that festival.
Great. Okay. Anyway, Lynz asked for a violin at the age of 5 and has been playing, singing, and performing from an early age, and teaches, what instruments do you teach?
Fiddle mostly.
Okay.
A little bit voice, but mostly fiddle or violin. Take your pick.
And I'm looking forward to some more fabulous music. So let's have it.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting involved in whatever new evolution this festival takes. I'm super grateful that thank you, AJ, for your efforts, and to everybody on the board, because it's the people that make the festival. The venue was awesome, and if we have to go someplace else, okay, we'll do that. Yeah, as Jeff said, when I was real small, I decided I wanted to play violin, and grew up playing classical violin and singing in choirs. And then as an adult, I came to this music really starting a little bit in college, and then quite a bit later on as an adult, turning my violin into a fiddle and learning about singing socially as opposed to performatively as part of choirs, and I've really appreciated everything that's brought to my life. Yeah, let's start with, okay, so some years ago I was at the Mystic Festival, and I was volunteering at the festival and working in the kitchen, because that's the thing that I've done in the past. I've had those kind of jobs and felt comfortable there and happy to support that. And we were doing kitchen cleanup, and we're singing for, putting up the chairs and mopping the hall like you do, because these are work songs. They're meant for working. And I was singing, and a friend who was there said, "Don't stop singing. Jeff Kaufman, who is the festival director, is standing right outside that door." Oh, all right. Sure, we'll do that. So that was kind of how I really got more deeply involved in it. It was a little bit by accident, because I loved the music. I loved being part of it. Hadn't yet really gotten involved from a performative standpoint. So here's one of the songs I was singing while we were putting up the chairs. Don't mind the rain, nor the rolling sea. Those weary nights never worried me. But the hardest time in a sailor's day is to watch the sun as it dies away, and it's one more day on the gray funnel line. The finest ship that sails the sea is still a prison for the likes of me. That were homeward bound, and it's one more day on the gray funnel line. I'll pass the time like some machine until the blue water turns to green. Then I'll dance on down that walk ashore and sail the gray funnel line no more. And sail the gray funnel line no more.
Excellent.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful song.
Oh, it's okay. So that brings to mind, I did that song at after the Mystic Festival. If you've never been, it's a really intense weekend. And then the Monday night after the festival, there's a thing called Survivors Night where a lot of the performers and the staff and the volunteers all get together to have kind of a decompression evening, share some music, eat some really tasty food together. And I sang that song at Survivors Night, and Tom Lewis, if you don't know Tom Lewis, you should look him up, but you probably all know him. He came up to me after and he said, he came up to correct one of my lyrics, and he said, great singing. And also, this is the lyric, because Cyril never would have said it that way. Yeah, okay, all right.
Which lyric was that specifically?
What?
Which lyric was that specifically?
Dance on down this walk ashore. Because I walk on down this walk ashore. Yeah, no, he never would have said that. Okay, all right. so that lyric is really well etched in my brain now forever. And that was kind of my meeting of him. So it was an interesting thing. And I think I'll share a song from him. Really like some of his more contemporary, his songs that he's writing to share about his experiences, sailing, but also really on submarines and diesel ships and that kind of thing, where it's not so much the sails and tall ship planet. The 5th of November back in 53, the old man at Dolphinshire, he said to me, we brought you here, boy, 'cause we wants you to know we've booked you's a berth in the water below with the diesel and shale, diesel and shale. We've booked you's a berth with the diesel and shale. But when I protested, I'm no volunteer, he said, we ain't got one in many's the year. So that's a wee secret between you and me. There's many's a pressman down under the sea with the diesel and shale, diesel and shale. Down under the sea with the diesel and shale. Oh doctor, I don't think I'm well. Well, never mind, sonny, we'll very soon tell. Try holding your breath while I counts up to 3. There, that proves you're fit to go under the sea with the diesel and shale, diesel and shale. To go under the sea with the diesel and shale. I went to the storeroom to gather me rig. They gave me a sweater 10 sizes too big. Then I crawled down that boat like an old polar bear, and I says to myself, there's a smell in the air, and it's diesel and shale, diesel and shale. There's a smell in the air, and it's diesel and shale. A blast on the klaxon, ring on the gong, and then you go down where no mortals belong. Where the air's going bad and the food's going stale, they mix you a nightcap of diesel and shale, diesel and shale, diesel and shale. They mix you a nightcap of diesel and shale. We circled the Med for a summer or 2, where the air is so warm and the sky is so blue. At least that's what they tell me, but I wouldn't know. You don't see much sun when you're stuck down below with the diesel and shale, diesel and shale. When you're stuck down below with the diesel and shale. Oh, Susie, won't you be mine? Submariners' wives have a hell of a time. You live like a duchess with cash on the nail if you don't mind the smell of the diesel and shale. Diesel and shale, diesel and shale. If you don't mind the smell of the diesel and shale. Then the old man at Dolphin, he told me at last, it's time you went back to your ship with a mast. So I'll feel just like Jonah, leaving his whale, and you know where to stick all your diesel and shale. Diesel and shale, diesel and shale. You know where to stick all your diesel and shale.
Oh, I positively love that song, and you're singing it, Lynz.
Thanks.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to learn it.
Yep, it's a good one.
Yeah. By the way, are we going to get any of your songs today?
Any of my songs? I haven't written any sea songs yet, sir.
They don't have to be sea songs. It's your set, but yes.
I mean, fair. Maybe I'll stick one in. Yeah, where are we at? 12:40ish or something. Okay. So at Survivor's Night, one of the years I was there, I had the chance to sit with and have conversation with some new friends from Australia. And we got to talking about music and about fiddle playing. And Sue Bryan said, oh, I have tunes that you need to learn. And there's a whole collection of tunes that are the Lytton fiddle tunes is what they're called. And they were recorded in ship's logs from about 1800 to 1802. And I had hoped to play some of those tunes for you today. I have not memorized them because there's 50-something pages of them. There's a lot. This is my circuitous way of saying my eyes are not cooperating today. I can't read the sheet music, but I'm going to play you some other fiddle tunes. Because fiddle is, it's an instrument that got brought to sea. And as a fiddle player, it's a little puzzling, actually, because fiddle's a fairly finicky instrument. And, fussy about temperature and humidity and those kind of things. And the idea that somebody would have, chosen to take it out on a ship and deal with what that would have meant is a little astonishing. And as a fiddle player, I'm also going to say, if I was going to sea, I would want to bring my fiddle. So I'm going to play you a couple fiddle tunes that don't come out of the Lytton collection, but are old enough that they might have been around and certainly peppy enough that you might have had them on a ship.
Oh, that's delightful, Lynz. So, you've got about 5 minutes left. One long one, two short ones.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant to give you more warning.
You're fine. Thanks. Let's do... Let's do a song. Here's a song I learned from the Johnson Girls, which if you're around in the Mystic scene or Portsmouth, you probably have heard them, and if not, you should look them up, because really wonderful songs from them. Brandy good for sailor man, brandy early in the morning, brandy early in the morning, give us a drop of brandy, brandy good for sailor man, brandy payday good for sailor man, payday early in the morning, payday early in the morning, give us a drop of brandy, brandy good for sailor man, brandy shore leave good for sailor man, shore leave early in the morning, shore leave early in the morning, give us a drop of brandy, brandy good for sailor man, brandy singing good for sailor man, singing early in the morning, singing early in the morning, give us a drop of brandy, brandy good for sailor man, brandy loving good for sailor man, loving early in the morning, loving early in the morning, give us a drop of brandy, brandy good for sailor man, brandy dancing good for sailor man, dancing early in the morning, dancing early in the morning, give us a drop of brandy, brandy good for sailor man, brandy whiskey good for sailor man, whiskey early in the morning, whiskey early in the morning, give us a drop of whiskey, whiskey good for sailor man, whiskey brandy good for sailor man, brandy early in the morning, brandy early in the morning, give us a drop of brandy, brandy good for sailor man, brandy
Oh, excellent, Lynz. Here
Nice.
we can unmute for some applause for AJ and Lynz. So,
Lynz, I
I'd
love
like-
that all, but I especially love Diesel and Shale.
Thank you.
yes.
Yeah.
So, I would like to thank Bill Lerman for handling the tech for this session and Janie Manili for handling the chat and stuff. Janie is also a wonderful singer and songwriter. And you've probably all heard, but I should mention that this is, although it's a free festival, we do rely on supporters to pay our performers, which is where almost all the contributions go to. And Janie has posted information about that. And up next here is Edith and Bennett. And am I missing anything?
think you got it all, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, PMFF.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you, hosts.
Thank you, everybody. See you later.